This is Justin Scoop on Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. We are looking at SPX. We opened up today and ran up, made a new all-time high. And today was a Fed rate decision day. So there was a lot of sideways until until the Fed came out and dropped the interest rates by a quarter point. And that's really when things sold off. But what's crazy is it recovered phenomenally, and even futures just made a new all-time high. So taking out today's high, and right now it's chopping back around. So it's under the all-time high. If we've got time, we'll take a quick look at that. If we have time. There's so many different things I could go over in this video, and I may have to do some recap of today this weekend or something because it's already late. And so I'm actually going to show it. It's easier to see some of this stuff on TradingView, which is primarily where I was tracking stuff. It's just a whole lot easier for me to draw channels and put a bunch of stuff on the chart and what I was watching. And so keep in mind this all-time high. We're going to see it over here on TradingView. Let me pull my other window over. But we're going to come back over to this so I can show you a couple things going on with the options. So here is, oh, come on. Here's TradingView. Here's SPX on a 1 minute because there were some things I was watching right at open. It's like this is already pushing higher. And so I was drawing this channel in on a 1 minute. And actually, I think I was down at a 30-second chart. Let's see if that fit a little cleaner. You got to subscribe to, oops, I didn't to move that channel. Got to subscribe to get down to under a minute channels. I can't even get to under a minute channels on Thinkorswim. But anyway, this looks pretty clean. The high, open high, and then kind of cutting through the bodies of these candles, but the lows lined up really well. And so what I was noticing here is, okay, we broke through this one, and then that's weird. What just happened? Oh, it was a different channel. Okay, so this one I just had only this portion of it. But I was watching, okay, we were kind of doing this double bottom thing. Let me sketch this. So we're going up channel, do this double bottom thing off of yesterday's high. That's what that means. And then we're bumping our heads back up against the bottom side of the channel. And when we did that, so this was a high, here's a bit of a hesitation here. And then we broke out, made a trap. And that was a great move. So I got into this bearish up here. Yes, at an all-time high. I needed to see the setup to do that. So just real quick again, I'm following this channel. We break down. We made a high, hesitate, we break out, and here's our trap. And so I'm in bearish at as this is breaking out. I'm in bearish at 856. Right in here, I think right around as it's moving up. And I'm in with, let me go back over here. This is where it's going to be a little bit more involved. I'm going to try not to cough. Okay. So I'm in with the today's 68.75 put. And so let me get this big. So it's 856. So it's right in here. The order fills at $6 on this candle. So I'm like the closing price of this candle. Comes down to a low of 5.8 here, 5.74 of a low here, and then it's up. It's like, okay, great, this is moving really well. And then it's chopping around a bit. And I had my target high. I really wanted this to move, which it did late. It did later. And I really wanted to go there sooner. I really thought about moving my target down. I had my target at 16. I wanted to get in at 6, get out at 16, and I had my stop at 5. So I'm risking $100 to make 1,000. And I thought today is a good day to do that, where we should have a bigger move, which it did have a bigger move. Okay, so fast forward, and I'll go back through some of this, but fast forward, I'm in it all through this. It does come back down and comes down into the $6 to $5 range, like this low here. was 5.9. It's really hard to see. Let me switch this off of the log chart because I just want to see the dollar amounts. Price log off. There we go. Okay. And then we're just going to zoom back in on, let me zoom in on just this portion of the day. Before that, actually, before I was in it right up until uh, right before 1 o'clock Central. Okay, so this is easier to see now. Oh, should have just done that to begin with. You see, this is off the cuff. So I'm in at 6, stop down at 5, and it's just bouncing around. And I'll show you this on the regular chart. I kind of wish I exited at 10. It kept pushing up, and then it pulled back. Pushed up, new high, pulled back. Pushed up, new high, pulled back. It's like, where is it? Where is it pushing up? I should exit at any of these highs because it had gotten here before, it got there again, got there again. And that's some of my stubbornness. It's like I just wanted it to go. Uh, it came back down to the $6 price here. And then when it's doing this at 6.5, I'm like, okay, we are right before 1 o'clock. This is when I was expecting to, have that bigger movement. I'm like, you know what? I am profitable. It's right before this thing's going to happen. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to exit. So I exited at 8. So I bought at 6, out at 8, $200. And so there you go. I was happy with that. I was really happy with that because it would have stopped me out. It hit $5 here, um, and actually came down to 4.9. So it would have stopped me out. And then let me zoom back out on this. Oh, that was too far. Then it did it a couple more times. It came down past 5. So this big move when Poe was actually speaking, this came down to 4.3. So I absolutely would have been out at this point had this been just a quick wick and not stop me out. But then this one was 4.95. So I'm pretty sure I would have been stopped out and lost $100 on the setup. I was actually surprised it didn't sell off more, but then this started happening. We'll recap this on the day, but this was phenomenal to see. This is exactly what I was looking for, and obviously my target of 16 would not have done this justice because it just blew past that, nearly doubling that target. Um, this moved so fast, but it did stay below 16. Let's say had I been in when it's doing something like that, I can be pretty quick to move my target out. I usually double. So instead of 16 looking for 1,000, I would not double the target, double the range of what I'm looking for. So I was looking to go from 6 to 16. I would double that, go from 6 to 26. And then that would have filled on this candle, like not even 10 minutes later. That's typically what I'll do in a situation like this when it's really moving quickly, if I can move quick enough to change that order. And at the same time, I'll actually put in a stop or move my stop up. I had a stop on this one. It's not an absolute zero. Okay. That's kind of recapping that trade. That move, great. Let's go back to see what was going on here. And then I'll show you the trade I missed. Actually, I'll show you the trade I missed first because um, it was the 68.50. I'm like, okay, I liked using a different option. It's just the next one a little further out. Um, and so this one I was looking to buy at 2 and sell at 12. So again, just looking for $100 or $1,000 gain on $100 risk. So buy at 2. I wasn't going to have a stop, but I was going to play it like I had a stop at $1, but I was going to give it some room. And so I was getting this set up. Actually, I think I was setting it up with a stop at $1. I was second guessing that. And so that may have been what happened. I was a little slower on this one. Low is 1.9. And on this candle at 133 Central, it rampaged. It just started to really move. So let's go look at that and how that happened during the day. So again, I'll show you here. This doesn't look like much. We've got the squeeze happening. It's going sideways. Looks like it's going to squeeze up. And what I have on this chart really doesn't do it justice for what happened. Now, if you see what else I've got on here, the 69.25 call, this looks like what we've been kind of tracking some this week. So let me frame it up on this one, and then I'll show you on TradingView. So we had some lows through here, some lows around 7.5, a little bit under that, somewhere in here. Breakdown, we've got our bookends for a rest after battle pattern, chopping around. Hey, look, we just retested back into that low price with that upper wick. That upper wick corresponds to drum roll. I was just trying to get out of the this tool. Okay. Corresponds to this lower wick, corresponds to this upper wick, and there's a whole lot more things that it matches up with. But I missed that one. That would have worked really well. That would have moved really quickly. So let me get off of the 30-second chart. Let's go to a 1 minute chart. So I was tracking this as this was going. I've got a bunch of lines on here. Let me clean this up a little bit. Okay. Um, let's do this. I've got this green line here. So I had this one was great too. Let me change this one just for conversation's sake. So this yellow one is the one we looked at, zoomed in on. Okay. That was really steep. That, I was in the trade, that was going here. I'm looking for, okay, where are we going to break next? What's going on? So I just connected these lows here and then drew it up to a high here. Never got back up to that high. I was already in basically near that high. I want this to roll down. I want it to break down. Okay, it did. Now, how far is it going to go? So I extended this channel. I extended this channel like this out to, okay, here's another half a move further, and here's another double move further. Okay. So I'm trying to see, is it going to just keep running? That's what I wanted. That lower wick, yeah, it didn't keep running. It put in that wick, and then it started to recover. It's like, okay, if it recovers and comes back up to this same channel and rolls over again, that's great. And I started to do that. And then it actually moved down into this kind of double move. If I had extended the channel, that's another way to see it. So it's just, I like keeping the original channel. Had I moved this out so that, see where the dotted min line is here? I'm going to line up this midline right here to where this line is. And I'm just going to pull that down. And now you can see, okay, it's the same thing. It's the same effect as if I had extended the channel, basically doubling the size of the channel. Got into a range here that, hey, we're right into some lows that we could come into this. This is why I should have been exiting at 10. That was when this price was happening here at around 11 o'clock. It made it up the option, sorry, the 68.75 put that I was in made it up to around $10 over here. And then it retraced and just didn't cooperate how I really wanted it to, obviously. Okay, let me keep that stuff off the screen so far because I want you to see what was going on here. So we put in this lower, let me get yesterday off of here. There we go. That's easier to see. Okay. This this lower wick here, that was significant. So I just connected these. I actually had it connected over here like this, and then it missed this one, and then I'm trying to line up the high over here, this high where I was in that bear trade with this. I'm like, hey, this is kind of missing some stuff. Let me see if there's better. So this is still a really good, there's some really good things lining up here. So you get some upper wicks on the midline. Got the lower wick here. So this actually did really well. I just wanted it to hit this one because it felt like we bounced off of that better. And this was maybe just kind of a wick out. So I moved it up a little bit more to here. I didn't, so I kept this over here for the high. I moved it above this one. I got a little bit above this, trying to kind of grab those. But I was liking where this was actually riding right through some of these levels on the midline. And this acted as like a neckline. There was some nice consolidation sitting right on there. Some of these bodies were right here with the lower wicks kind of below and body above. So this was a whole lot cleaner. Um, so that's where I put the red down channel. The green up channel, again, I'm leaving in place kind of that doubling of that move. So I'm going to draw this now. So I had this and this lining up the green level. Okay. Giving me this line. I had this and this. That was really not as clean. I had this low and kind of tagging that, but also hitting these, and then grabbing this, oops, this high, and trying to line up with some of the wicks here. Um, and then giving me some really good levels kind of in the middle where we're making some decisions or we're clearly, holding a level. So this one we broke above, but I really liked where some of these were lining up in the midline. So I thought all of that was really clean. So now what we've got is um, kind of some consolidation happening where, if you kind of zoom out and look at what's happening with the red down channel, what's happening with the green up channel, and all of a sudden, we didn't do this X marks the spot, which sometimes we do. Um, we actually came in to this area just past it and had an indecision candle right there. Again, we're on the 1 minute. Some of this gets cleaned up if I go back to a 3 minute. Some of these levels look a little better. I'm not going to switch to that right now, but hopefully I remember to switch back to that. So we make this high wave candle, this indecision candle right in here. And so I was getting that order set up thinking, hey, we've retested now, we tagged from below the green channel. Okay, hey, look, we're doing that again. We've also tagged the top of the red channel. Hey, what if all of this acts as resistance and we don't continue higher, but maybe we go lower? And I was not ready with the order right then, and I should have been. So that's my lesson is if I anticipate that sort of a level coming into play, where I've got, basically two converging levels here, a little bit off from each other, but I get a high wave candle, just be in it. I need to be in it already instead of like not necessarily waiting for confirmation, but set up the order and be ready to lose. Because the very next candle, this is going to step one bar. Ah, one, two. The very next candle on a 1 minute was that candle. And I watched that candle form and realized I had completely missed the move. Missed it. If we go into a 30-second, I was watching this candle form, and then all of a sudden that came in and dropped even lower. I was watching a 1 minute. I think I was on the 1 minute. And so it didn't even trade through here. It just jumped. It just gapped midday down here. And what's crazy is then that started to line up some consolidation later. So I kind of put this kind of near that high, right? See that? And thinking, hey, this is a great place for us to S curve lower. And so we broke down, retested, and I was in bearish again here. And it's like, okay, no, it's not going to do that. So I thought, okay, if I wait for the consolidation. So trying to wait for the setup, and it was just so much selling here. I thought we'd push down, continue to sell off during the close. So didn't happen like that. If I go back up to a 3 minute, let's just look at these channels on a 3 minute. It's harder because that one, it comes up to a high wave candle right here, and the 3 minute shows all of it. Anyway, the this one doesn't fit as clean. I'm telling you, this is where I had the channel when this was coming into play. So maybe it wasn't on a 3 minute, but that was pretty close. Was it a 5? I had it here. I mean, I didn't move it. So I guess next time I'll have to take a screenshot of it and with the timestamp of when I had it. 30-second chart, 15-second chart. Look at that. It just started to go. So you even put a 15-second double top right there. Very similar to this framework here, double top, move lower. This candle, I'm pointing with my mouse again. Let me grab the annotate. That candle and that candle. Very similar price, very similar range. I'm going to hold the cursor on here. Yeah, look at that. Phenomenal. The high on this one was 69.08 and 39 cents. The high on this one, 69.08, 48 cents. Like basically we were look for repeats. We double topped in here and the same level we double topped over here same level. This one held the red channel. This one was kind of cutting through it. But I mean, I know I'm at a 15-second chart, but when things are really moving, you gotta you gotta like get the setups. You gotta anticipate, hey, what is it gonna do? And so, it I was looking for that kind of a move to happen again. And now, hey, we've got some actual information that's gonna help push it. And that's the move. So let me move this over. Okay. It just doesn't do it justice. Even the next candle here, I'll put this back on. Oh, where'd it go? Right here. The next candle. All right. I'm going to point at it again. 15-second chart right there, right there. Very similar candles. Got a little bit of kind of a flat move from candle to candle. This one gap down. The low price here and the low, actually, the low is like there. Let's go see what those prices were. Okay, on this candle, the earlier one, the low was 68.98.82. The low on this candle, 68.99.01. So 20 cents apart. 20 cents apart. This is repeating. I mean, it's just when you see this stuff, that candle repeated. That candle repeated. Now here's the difference. We were already just collapsing from this resistance. And so we didn't get the buy, we didn't get the bouncing. There wasn't anything framework wise to bounce off of here. There's probably another section of this that I could extend. So negative 1.5, is that the one? Where we at? Yeah, look at that bounce there. If I go to -2, this is just times the channel. No, -2 doesn't do it. There's probably some fib in there or something. I don't know. So anyway, yeah. So this is happening. It's like, okay, I missed it. Gotta know when you missed it. Um, gotta wait for an S curve, gotta wait for a place to get in it, or you gotta be in it, or go far enough away and then do absolute zero, you know. So then I was watching this kind of move back up. Um, it's like what's gonna happen here? Looking for this to break down and collapse. Nope, we held this. It's like this is consolidating, this is kind of a flat top and higher lows. So that fit pretty well. Wasn't the cleanest, but again, I'm on a 15-second chart, and there's a lot of things that are happening in the market because of how the day went. So yeah, it a lot of this is easier to see, easier to chart on TradingView, but yeah, this was a lot going on today. Um, and I don't think this video really does it justice, but that was some of the moves today. Um, Obviously, we can look at any number of other options here, other strikes, and see a very similar move, very similar consolidation. You know, I think I can try this freehand real quick, but I think generally that red channel where we're kind of going, on down angle, um, that was really the framework of the morning. I know that didn't do it justice at all. Let me just move this back over. So that red down channel is the framework. Anybody could have drawn this. You can even have it not exact, just like, hey, let's hit some lows. Hey, let's hit some of the highs. This could have been a little bit lower. It's like if I had done this. Okay, now we're into that body. We're tagging this. You can change the angle a little bit. Okay, we're over here. We're up over here. Where are we at with the lows? Okay, hey, we got the body here. Okay, we'll kind of cut into this. Still would have worked. Like, you still should have been shorting anywhere it hit the high, and this one would have hit the body of it, and then it would have ran up. I mean, there's so many ways to put this back to how I had it. There we go. There's so many ways to just be ready to set this stuff up to trade, but drawing these channels, and being ready with the move, being ready with the setup, especially this where you could have been way further out. It was not the easiest thing to trade just because you had to be so much further out with the amount of premium that was baked in. But there were some really inexpensive options further out. You just have to wait for that's the hardest part is waiting to get into it and not just getting chopped out by nothing happening, you know, nothing happening until something happens, which we kind of knew the times. There was a 1 o'clock announcement and then Powell talking about it at 1:30. And, those were the kind of 2 points in time during the day today to really be ready with, okay, what's going to happen here? How do you make money whichever way it goes? And it could have gone the other way. It could have gone bullish, you know? Um, so yeah, it was really cool just to see how this moved today to somewhat more be anticipating it, but I still missed the trade. So was in some stuff, was trying to work out some trades for rollovers. Then we, got the rally. A number of times we got the rally, even after all these bull candles. I'm like, okay, now we're holding like a retracement level. We retraced midway, maybe a little bit. There's probably a fib on this actually. If I did that, let me do it on here because I think I can do it a little quicker. If I look at the fib, is it this one? Oh, I just forget which one it is. No, it's the other one. Here's the fib tracement. If I go just from like this wick to this wick, yeah, we're pretty much pushing past the 618 and then holding with the bodies. But yeah, if I bring this back down to the body here, and the body, let's go to the body of the bullish candle. It's about the same. Didn't change too much on that. Um, but that's where this consolidated. All of the bodies through here are in between the 382 and the 618 until it actually breaks down below this consolidation, gets a close down here. Um, but yeah, still rallied back up. So just a quick fib. All right. I don't know what else I can add to this right now. It's late and I gotta get this one posted. We'll see what happens tomorrow with futures and see, if anything is moving around anymore. Um, but yeah, that's what I got for now. So hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.